What's up, guys? Douglas from Dougsterbob.com here, and today we're going to talk about the 2022 Sunday X. If you've been watching the channel for a long time, you'd know that I really liked the 2021 model. It actually won this $500 to $600 complete bike tournament that I did, where I took all the bikes within that price range and I compared them head to head. It beat bikes like the We the People Justice and the Kink Cloud. So this is a very impressive bike. However, this year in 2022, the prices did go up. So let's figure out if it's still worth it and if it's still a good bike. Is it a good bike for you, and would I recommend it? All right, so the 2022 Sunday X, this is a great bike. It comes in two different color options, two different top tube size options. One has a free coaster, one has a cassette, one has 4-piece bars, one has 2-piece bars. It's a little different. It's really hard to call each bike the Sunday X because they do vary so much. However, they're both the Sunday X. When we get into the Dougsterbob Scores section, we'll have to do some distinguishment there. Is that even a word? I don't know. Because one has a free coaster and one doesn't, and that really impacts the score. But between the two bikes, the Julian Arteaga version comes in a matte mustard and a 21-inch top tube, while the Eric Elstrand version comes in a copper drop color and a 20.75-inch top tube. The Eric Elstrand version is the one that comes with the Odyssey clutch free coaster, while the Julian Arteaga version only comes with a cassette. Now, like I said, the prices are very different. So the Julian Arteaga version is $589, putting it right under $600. But the Eric Elstrand version's $629. So it's a big price difference there. Let's talk quality. So the Sunday X is a full chromoly bike, chromoly handlebars, chromoly forks, chromoly frame. The quality is very good on this bike. So for anyone considering the Forecaster, if you have any extra money, go with the Sunday X. If you're considering the Scout, stop it and go with the Sunday X. Like just get up here because you get full chromoly bars, full chromoly forks, full chromoly frame. Aftermarket parts is just so much better, and I promise you don't want to end up where you do a big jump and your frame snaps in half or your wheel falls off. I don't know. One thing that really bothers me about the X this year is they define it as a pro level bike, but it doesn't have pro level parts package like the Sunday Soundwave or the Kink Williams or, the We the People Envy, anything really high pro level. So it's not a pro level bike. When you read that on their description, don't listen to them. It's still a mid-level bike, even though it is good quality. That's basic mid-level quality that it has there. Another thing that really bothers me is that there are no pegs. No pegs, no hub guards, and I feel like for that price, they could throw in some cheap pegs just so you're able to grind right out of the box. Is that too much to ask? Like, literally, am I asking too much? Just throw some pegs with the bike if you're going to call it a pro level street bike. Anyway, it weighs 25.75 pounds, which is pretty light. Full chromoly, it's a high quality bike, just no pegs, and that makes me angry. Light bike, high quality bike. It's solid. It's solid. Let's talk geometry so that you know how this bike's going to feel and if it fits your style of riding. Like I mentioned, it comes in a 20.75 and a 21-inch top tube. This is going to be for those taller dudes. Anyone, anywhere from like 5'8" to 6'4" would be okay. Check out the Dougsterbob size guide. Just Google it because it tells you how each size will affect your style. If you get the one on the higher end of the spectrum, what that's going to do to your riding, what the lower end of the spectrum is going to do. Just check that out because that's going to help so much. And I always rant about this, but one of the most important things in the sport is getting the correct size. So you can get a bike that's not right quality for you, but if you don't get the right size, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And just make sure you get the right size, please. If you're a small guy, this is a good bike and it's really solid, but it's going to be too big for you. If you're really small, you need to be on a way smaller top tube, and getting a good quality bike at your size is going to be counterproductive. So make sure you get the right size. The chainstay is 13.2 to 13.5 inches, just like almost every single one of Sunday's completes this year. The head tube angle is a normal 75 degrees. It's not steep, it's not mellow. And then the standover height is 9 inches. So the geometry on this is pretty basic. It's very similar to the Forecaster, very similar to the Scout. Nothing too crazy. The longer chainstay is something that gets me because I feel like last year it was a little bit shorter and a little more responsive. This year it's that 13.2 to 13.5, so that's going to add a little bit more stability. All right, let's talk about the Dougsterbob Scores. So this is a scoring system that's designed to take a look at every single BMX bike and give it a score based on how good it is in street, how good it is in dirt, park, or even the quality. If you want this score sheet, click the link in the description, put in your email address, and it's going to get sent to you. And that way you have over 80 different bikes scored so that you can sort it and see what's best for you. But we'll talk about the Sunday X. And for the Sunday X, I need to distinguish a few things. We're going to break down the Arteaga version and the Eric Elstrand version just because of the free coaster and the cassette, and that has a big impact on it, okay? So first of all, in the street section, the Sunday X Arteaga version scored a 3.25. We're going to round that down to 3. The biggest reason that it scored this low is because it does not have a free coaster. The high quality of the bike helped it out quite a bit because it makes it good for taking on big drops and big gaps. But no pegs, one hub guard I think on the free coaster. I think I said earlier that it had none, but it does have one on the drive side or something like that. It's not very many and it's no pegs. So this bike isn't coming right out of the box perfect for street. However, the Elstrand version scored a 5.5, which I guess technically rounds up to 6. And that's because of the free coaster. So good quality bike. It's got good solid tires for street. And then it has that free coaster and, kind of a hub guard. But it's significantly better. And the reason for that is, while not everyone rides street with a free coaster, free coasters make a lot of street tricks so much easier. So that's why it's such a heavily weighted thing in the Dougsterbob scoring system. Now, in the park section, both of these bikes scored a relatively low 3.33. We're going to round it down to 3. They're not park specific. There's holes drilled for gyro tabs, but they don't come with a gyro. The tires are more geared towards street, not necessarily so much for park. While, they're okay on park, but they're not designed for park. And the geometry isn't really responsive. It's a little bit mellow and it's not park specific at all. Now in dirt, there's a little bit of variation. So the Arteaga version scored a 2.67. We're going to round that up to 3, but the Elstrand version scored a 1.33. We're going to round that down to 1. So there's a big difference there. And again, this is the free coaster coming into play. There's a spot that we ranked them because of their gearing, and 25.9's the standard gearing, and that's average. So if you get something like 28.9 or 30.10, it gives you a higher top speed, and it's going to make trail riding a lot more useful, or it's going to be a lot more useful when you're doing trail riding because you can get a higher top speed. Now, when you have a free coaster, this gets a low score in that part because it's really not very good. If you case a jump and you need to pedal to catch up speed to clear the next jump, that slack on that free coaster is going to give you a tough time, and it's just not going to work. So for dirt, I do recommend a cassette with, special gearing, with big geometry and a bunch of other things, which neither of these bikes have, but the free coaster kills it for the Elstrand version. What do you think are some potential issues that you're going to have with this bike if you were to buy it? To me, the biggest issue is going to be that it doesn't come with anything specific. This bike's really general and really basic, and I think a lot of people buy it hoping to be specific in one area, whether it's be specific as a park rider or dirt rider or street rider. The bike is really bland in that aspect, and it's not going to help you out in one discipline or another. Now, you can always upgrade it. So if you like street and you buy this bike, most people at the skill level to buy this bike have already decided what they're riding. And so you're going to have to buy this bike, and then you're going to have to make upgrades to make it better for what you actually ride. So if you like to ride street, you're going to have to buy this bike and add pegs and hub guards. If you like to ride dirt, you're going to have to buy this bike and add dirt specific tires, better gearing, things like that. It doesn't really come right out of the box specific for anything, and that's an issue I see if you're hoping that it'll help you in one area or another, because it won't. Who is this bike for? So the Sunday X is going to be for a mid-level rider, someone who's been riding for a little bit. They have some basic tricks down. They have a decent bag of beginner tricks down. They're doing probably 360s. They're working on bar spins, even tail whips. Grinding handrails would be nice, things like that. That's kind of the level of riding this person is at. They might have been riding a lower quality bike like the Sunday Blueprint or the Kink Launch, and now they're ready to upgrade to something better. Buying this would be a huge upgrade for you because it's going to come with so much more quality and it's going to be able to hold up to that level of tricks that you're doing right now. This is not for a brand new rider because, to be quite frank, it's way too expensive for someone who's just getting into the sport and someone who doesn't know whether they're going to stick it out, whether, where they're at with it. It's going to be for somebody within the size guide because it's a 20.75 or a 21-inch top tube. It's not going to be for those smaller guys. And then this person has to have a fair amount of money to be able to afford it. So that's who it's for. Mid-level rider looking for an upgrade with a decent amount of money and that fits on a 20.75 or a 21-inch bike. Would I recommend this bike? Absolutely. If you fit the description of who it's for, I hands down recommend this bike. Even though the price did go up in 2022, this bike is still almost $100 more than the Kink Whip, kind of like it was last year. So I think it's a fair deal. It's a good quality bike, and I'm really happy that they put the upgrades, made that double wall front rim, and just the colors are kind of sick too. I like the matte mustard. I don't know if that would be a color that I would ride, but I think it's sick. And the copper drop's pretty cool too. So I would recommend this bike if you fit the description of who it's for. I need you to head to the comments and tell me if you plan to buy this bike. And then tell me, do you like the L-Strand version or do you like the Arteaga version? Which one do you think's better? If you're planning to buy this bike, click the link in the description because it's going to send you to whichever website has the best price. Probably going to be Dan's Comp, but you never know. If something's lower, I'm going to send it there because some places are overcharging and I don't think it's fair to you. So click the link in the description to make sure you get the best price. And then I'm so excited for you to get a bike and get into the sport. So good luck finding your dream bike. If this process is too much of a headache for you, there's another link in the description for a free BMX bike recommendation. What that does is you fill out a form, you tell me your height, your budget, your skill level, what kind of riding you like to do, and then I'll look over that information and I'll make a PDF with 3 different bikes that I think would be perfect for you. I'll send it back to you and then you can see which bikes are good for you. And it's going to help. It's going to save you so much time because you don't have to research millions of bikes like you're probably doing. And anyway, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me and peace.